live, laugh.
All right, how's it going, everybody? My name is Daniel.
And I'm Christian.
And we are joined by the Frank Sinatra of the Spanish Mafia, Gino Told You So Rivera. Did I get that right?
You got it right. A lot of people get it wrong, but you got it right, and I love it.
Oh, absolutely. That's it's good to make a good first impression.
Absolutely.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. I can't complain, man. My body feels great. I just got out of training.
Yeah.
Just taught some students some stuff. I'm just always on the go, and I never have time to myself. I never have time to just relax, but
yeah,
that's what happens when you want to be the best, you know?
Yeah. Awesome.
Absolutely. And we will 1000% talk about your whole training deal. Like, that is awesome. But we're also going to try to get into your story and a little background on you and just try to dig into the story of how you became who you are now, because you are killing it now. Like, you're everywhere, man.
I hope so. I always tell people, and I get that often, right? And I always go, you know what? I don't feel that. I don't see that. I feel like I'm stagnant and that I'm not doing anything. And everybody's like, are you crazy? You're here, you're there, you're here, you're here. And I'm just like, well, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a wild thing, because I've probably followed you on social media for like 2 or 3 years, and to follow your journey through that and working the guys you're working with, the training guys at such a high level, and then occasionally I'll be watching WWE and you'll pop up, and then or Dark and you're there, or when 205 was running, I remember seeing that and be like, what the? Okay, look at him.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. You know, yeah. I mean, I've done some fun stuff. I've done some absolutely just, dude, I've had a wild ride. Like, wrestling is just one giant roller coaster.
Yeah.
I'm definitely afraid of heights, and I'm just the whole way down. I'm like,
I'm right there with you with roller coasters.
Absolutely.
I'm literally next door to Texas. I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I wrestle a lot of Texans, you know, being around in the Southwest area. And they taught me a phrase. It's called "bless your heart." So when you say, I follow you on social media, I'm like, bless your heart, because I am horrible. I am the worst. All I do is promote, push.
Yeah.
And regardless if I get 1 like, 2 looks, no likes, 100 likes, it doesn't matter. I'm still chucking along. You know what I mean?
Consistency is the key there.
Yeah. And I tell a lot of people that. I'm like, hey guys, look, I've been wrestling for 15 years now. And the way I get my bookings, my podcasts, my interviews, radios, news stations, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because they love the way that I promote.
Yeah,
it's
of course.
A nonstop thing. And I just have my ways of promoting it. It's just, it always works for me.
Yeah.
That's why I'm booked all the way through August right now. So,
There you go, man.
That's awesome. And another thing I've kind of noticed, I kind of equate you to on like the Brutal Bob Evans level of like, you're not just promoting your stuff, you're like throwing like good stuff to know like you're a wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always really cool.
Yeah. It's good to pass it down. I mean, I can't take this stuff when I die, right? I've got to give it back to somebody, you know, and there's been a lot of helpful people on my journey who have given me gems and stuff that I was like, sure, I heard you, but I'm not using it. Now, as myself, I'm eating it up. I'm using it. I'm throwing it at somebody. I'm like, that guy didn't care, but all right, you'll need it sometime. Just like I didn't need it at the time, and now I need it. So
yeah.
So jumping back, because you mentioned you've been doing it for 15 years. So we're going to jump a little even before then. When you were a kid, what drew you in about wrestling? And was there a guy that you would kind of attach yourself to? It was like, oh, I'm riding this all the way through.
Shout out to my adopted mom. I love you so much. And I know you're angry with me, and I hope we talk soon. But my adopted mom was the biggest Undertaker fan, the biggest Andre the Giant fan in the world. And being an adopted child, you know, being the baby of 6 boys, you know what I mean? You don't really get a say in who's watching what. You're just watching whatever everybody else is watching. And my mom just loved the WWF at the time. And she used to go to independent shows, and she was younger. She met Jimmy Superfly Snuka and Andre the Giant and Jake the Snake and stuff like that. And you know, her favorite wrestler was the Undertaker. Watching him on TV and being scared out of my wits. And my mom was just so excited. You know, he's so handsome. He's oh my god, Dad, oh my god. You know, just she was the biggest Undertaker fan, and I grew to. I love my mom so much. I wanted. Some people want to be their dad. Some people wanted to be their hero. I wanted to be my mom. Like she's the most amazing woman in the world. And when Undertaker would grace the screen, it made her excited, and I just loved the Undertaker. So I mean, can't really see it, but there's the little Undertaker somewhere right there.
Oh, there you go.
So you know, Undertaker's been the guy for me, for her, for my family.
Yeah.
Till this day, we are the biggest Undertaker fans.
When you think of the Undertaker, which era pops into your head?
Oh, like for me?
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, my favorite is his 1996 purple gloves.
Yeah.
Undertaker, bad, just like the whole. I was gonna curse there. Badass all day. You know what I mean? Like that. I just recently put online that my favorite rival at the time. Of all time is Mankind versus Undertaker in 1996. Boiler Room Brawls, Buried Alives, just everything. Undertaker is the greatest wrestler in the world to me.
Yeah, for sure. I started watching wrestling in like 2005, and he legitimately gave me nightmares. I was probably in middle school, and I've talked about it on the podcast before, but I legitimately had nightmares that I had, not that I had like he was going to kill me, but that I had to wrestle him. Like, so I was like suddenly a wrestler, and it's like, oh, you have to fight the Undertaker, and I'm just like, I'm gonna run across the country now.
Yeah, I met the Undertaker for the first time in my life, and I got starstruck. I've never been starstruck around anybody, and I've met so many famous people, 3-6 Mafia, you name it, whatever, and I've never gotten starstruck. And then I met the Undertaker at a signing, and I literally was standing tall, and he was sitting, and he was still taller than me. And he, you know, there was a lady, she's like, oh, do you want to give me your camera? I'm like, yeah, here, I want it like this, not like this. Hold it like this. The whole time he's behind me, and he's like,
oh, wow.
For my hand. And then I look at him, shake his hand, and I'm like, hi. I take a picture, and I bolt, and I leave.
Yeah.
I did not get the chance to tell him that you are the reason I am a wrestler. You are the reason for my happiness. You are the reason my mom loves this. I got into this business because of you.
Yeah.
I just took the picture and I left.
Yeah.
It was literally 10 seconds when I could have stayed at least another 30. But I was so starstruck, and I hope I get the opportunity to tell him how much he meant to me one day. We'll see.
Yeah, he's still out there doing things.
That's awesome, man. I like when I started watching wrestling, it was like 2008. And so I come from like a theater background, with my dad being a theater teacher, and there is never such a suspension of disbelief. Like, it's like, oh, this guy came back from the dead and he set his brother on fire in the childhood home. But like that was like, oh, like he kind of got me into wrestling, because like, oh, this is theater. Like he is the epitome of just entertainment. Like, this is suspension of disbelief to the 10th degree. Everyone just goes with it. And like, that is incredible. And
I fight with it daily with people that, you know, obviously everybody wants to be the cool guy and go, hey, I'm a wrestler. And who's your favorite wrestler? Because my favorite wrestler is Tanahashi and Okada and Omega and Misawa and whoever. And I'm like, well, my favorite wrestler is the Undertaker. And they're like, really, bro? And I'm like, what's wrong with that? Well, he's a dead man. How can he? I'm like, do you like Star Wars? You want to go that route, okay? Because we can go that route with Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You suspend your disbelief. You know, you don't really believe that there's people up there with lasers, right?
Yeah.
You don't believe that, do you? I mean, do you? Right?
Yeah. I
know Undertaker's not dead, but it's a suspension of disbelief, guys, and we won't get into that. But it's the whole, you know, wrestling's the, you know, or you like the Undertaker? Do you like Star Wars? I love Star Wars. Okay, nerd. Let's talk about it. You know, so
right.
Undertaker in the ring though, like, deserves a little bit more respect too. Like, some of the stuff that he was doing, like the old school and the Undertaker dive, where he's just like a 6'8" dude just flying through the air, like
yeah. Believe me, I've done all those moves in honor of my favorite wrestler. Some of them weren't pretty, some of them were awesome, but that true big man, one of the best, if not the best big man to ever do it. Sorry,
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And this will very quickly turn into an Undertaker podcast if we're not careful.
Yes,
Because-
yeah. Sorry, guys. Keep
No,
trying.
No,
it's fun.
no, because I'll talk forever. I'll talk forever, man.
I'm Puerto Rican. It's in my blood. Hey.
So jumping a little bit ahead. So you're a wrestling fan.
Yes.
Where's the switch to I want to do this? How does tryout go? If there's a tryout, how does training go? Like, just talk us through that process of just kind of how you got there.
Literally, guys, I've been telling people my whole life I've wanted to be a professional wrestler since, geez, the day I could actually say wrestling.
Yeah.
I always knew I wanted to do it. I always knew I was going to do it. And no matter who I told, I was laughed at. I was told, "You're too small, little shrimp." Yeah, right, kid. Go stick to your daytime job. Well, anyway, I was 18 and I was in Los Angeles, California, at the Staples Center, and I got these flyers. I'm crossing the street, and these guys are like, "Hey, take this," and I'm like, "The hell? I don't watch porn. What the I don't watch porn." I was like, "I don't want this. There's naked guys on here. What the heck's going on?" Right? Go walk across the street again, because there's the car, the Staples Center, you got to walk, whatever.
Yeah.
So I get it again. Hey, check this out. And I'm like, I don't want this, whatever. Throw the flyer away. Go see my show. I'm being a mark. Oh my God, WWE, whatever.
Yeah.
Come back out. Awesome show, by the way, WWE. And then I get a flyer again, and it's like, hey, check this out. And I was like, look, dude, I got like 3 of these. I don't want these. He's like, you like wrestling, right? I was like, yeah, I love wrestling. Well, look at the flyer. Did you actually look at it? And I was like, no. Look at it. It says pro wrestling. Want to be a pro wrestler. Santino Bros Wrestling Academy in Los Angeles, Bell Gardens, something like that. Or Norwalk, California, I think it was. And I was like, oh my gosh. I've wanted to do this my whole life, and it's right here in front of my face. And I grabbed that stack of freaking flyers that dude had. Shout out to you, Frank the Tank. You were the one I took it from, I think. And the next day I called the number, and a lady named Sylvia Romo answered, and she's like, yeah, like, we'd love to have you. Why don't you come check it out? See what if this is for you. And if it's not, we'll keep pushing. I went over there. All I could see was a ring in a backyard. And I didn't understand backyard wrestling. I didn't know what indie wrestling was. I just knew WWF and WCW, but I saw a wrestling ring, and I was like, oh my God. I'm going to be in the WWF one day, or the WWE one day. I was just amazed with the ring. And when I got there, I was like, sign me up.
That's
And
it.
in 2008, I signed up to be a professional wrestler. I made my debut in 2009.
There you go, man. That's awesome.
Yes.
When
Shout
you
out
went
to
into it,
Wrestling Academy, Joey Chaos, Supreme Angel. Gosh, I can name everybody. Steve Payne, Carnage, they all trained me. I had 11 trainers, literally shaping the wrestler that I was, and that is all thanks to you, Joey Munoz, and Sylvia, because I know they'll be watching this. Since Bros Wrestling, guys, check them out in Los Angeles.
okay. Yeah, awesome. We'll definitely share those. It's awesome that you I know a lot of people have the story of their first wrestling training is this dude in a bar, like you were talking about with Vern Gagne, but not necessarily like the level of Vern Gagne. You were able to walk in and find a really reputable school. It's really cool because we've heard some stories about people that haven't. When you first started training, what was your idea for your character? Like, what did you want to be? Obviously, you're a huge fan of The Undertaker. So how do you take that love with your kind of personality, and what are we looking at there?
I didn't really have a choice in what I wanted to be. I was just told from day one, man, you're a rookie. Oh man, you're natural. My trainer Silvio Romo was like, he's a freaking natural. He just does everything perfect. And I was like, I've only been watching and jumping off of coconut trees in Hawaii onto my friends and cones and ladders. I've been doing this my whole life. So when I got into the ring, I already knew what I was gonna do. As far as character wise, it was they kept calling me like the rookie, and I was like, okay, well, what is that? Like, what is just a rookie? Am I a rookie? What does that even mean? And I couldn't find a character, and I was obsessed with the 80s at one time, and I was like, okay, like I like the 80s. I'm obsessed. It's a trend, whatever. And then one of my coaches was like, what year are you born? I was like, 1988. And they're like, Jesus, you're a baby. And I'm like, yes. And not compared to you guys, but I'm old now to you guys. But yeah, so they gave me the name 88. literally the number 88. And they put the rookie 88, and they're like, "You're gonna be our next Rey Mysterio. We're gonna put you under a hood." And for those that are not familiar with a hood is, it's a mask in wrestling. And I was like, I don't want to wrestle in a mask. Like, I want everybody to see my freaking sexy face, right? Whatever. And they just put me in a mask, and the rest was history. I made my debut under a hood. It was a sex shop mask at first because I couldn't afford a mask. So we cut the ball out. One of those balls that you're like, we cut the ball out. It was a black mask. It was horrible. Every time I'd wrestle, it'd just be like, like it moved.
Yeah.
The worst mask ever. And I bought these tights that were like $65 on eBay, and it was sex like slave tights. And I didn't have I was a broke kid.
Yeah.
That's how I got my gimmick. And it was just, I came out to the worst music. It was like, I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. I think it was Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
It's the worst theme, worst mask, worst gear, and definitely not what I wanted to be as a character. But I made it work. That's what we do.
Question, and this might be just for me, but do you have any pictures of that?
Absolutely. I've got tons of pictures.
Yeah.
Would you be able to share that with us?
Absolutely. Like right now? I can.
I mean, just at some point. And I would love to see that. I'd love to share that.
As you guys are talking, I can definitely get that for you.
Okay. Just the thought of loving wrestling so much that you're wearing like a gimp mask that you cut them.
It's the worst thing ever. And whenever I see it, guys, I cringe because I'm like, oh, it was me at one time. But
anybody listening that is like complaining about their first attire, I'm gonna direct them to this now.
There's a whole post about it that I posted years ago. I keep looking up, and I'm like, guys, you guys have no idea how bad I had.
Oh, you think you're struggling? Let me tell you about struggle.
It was the worst thing ever. But like I said, I had a job. I knew what it was, and I made it work. And I'm just so proud of myself for doing that. You know what I mean? So
for sure,
that's awesome. So again, as we jump through this timeline, I want to jump ahead a little bit to the first time you got to be an extra. For first time you got to do, I don't know if that was a WWE spot or how that worked, and just kind of talk us through that first day.
Gosh, so I got an opportunity to be a WWE extra with, at the time was the Rosebuds. Do you guys remember him?
Adam Rose,
Adam Rose, yeah. This is when he was on his way out, and he was unenthusiastic about like just having people around him. He knew he was on the out, so he was just like, "All right, guys, we're going to go to the ring, and we're just going to throw your hands up, and you're going to, catch me as I fall, and every time I get bumped, you cheer, and that's it, guys. We're gonna go through it one time, and then that's it, and have a good day, and enjoy this whatever you guys will call this." And I was like, okay. And I'm like, I'm freaking excited. I'm here at the WWE. What the heck? How cool is this? And this was, I believe, in 2015 or 14, one of them. And I just remember showing up to the Staples Center, exactly where I got the flyer to be a cut.
Wow, that's such full circle.
Full circle, exactly. And I just remember being in a Staples Center. I'm just looking around. And I'm like, I'm here. And I thought, I was like, I'm gonna get signed. I'm gonna, Triple H is gonna come. Vince McMahon is gonna go like, "How you doing, pal? You want a contract?" I thought I was gonna get the whole shebang. And that night, they just told me to dress up in some funny clothes and do the whole da 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 da. Whoa. And I was just like, okay. And I had a ball. It just went by so fast. I saw all of my favorite stars, all of my favorite wrestlers growing up, young, old, new. It was a blast. And I just remember the night going by so quick, and then sitting in my car after the show, and everybody left the parking lot, and I'm still in the parking lot, and I'm just like, oh, wow, like my dream came true. But my dream didn't come true because I've never wrestled for the WWE. It was just an extra spot. But I was like, I thought I can retire. Peace out. You know what I mean? My life is made. You know what I mean? But it was nowhere near to what success I'd have going forward. So I was just extremely happy.
Yeah, the Staples Centers too, which is such an iconic venue for like everything, but especially wrestling.
Yes. Guys, I'm going to pause for a second because I'm going to make you guys smile. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Here it goes. Jeez Christ.
Oh my gosh. That's
Oh
amazing.
man, that power pose too.
Forget the pose. Look at the mask.
Oh my lord.
Does
How
that say
did he
sex
work
slave
in
or
that,
not?
man?
The ball was in the mouth. Okay, the ball was in the mouth. The tights I got from a sex shop. I didn't even fit it. It was just like hip huggers. You know,
I
I
mean,
couldn't afford boots, so I went with kick pads from an MMA guy. It was just the worst thing ever, guys. This is the rookie 88 live in
awesome.
color. This is what I
That-
ate. And I thought, I'm going to be the next Rock. I'm going to be the next. Jeez.
That's incredible. That's
Okay.
incredible.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the scheduled program, guys.
Yeah, no, that's great. And would you mind sending that to me as well so we can put it on a clip?
Absolutely. I'll send
Okay,
you whatever
great.
you need. Just no OnlyFans. I'm just kidding.
So like I guess we can add you to that list of notable rosebuds because there's
No.
so many alumni, like Rosebud alumni, right?
Yeah,
The big names.
Braun Strowman was a freaking dude with us one time. I've done
Yeah.
that. I don't even know how many times, but he was there going down, down, down,
yeah.
down.
That's wild. That is wild. So how did that compare to, I guess, your most recent? Oh, I guess I'll jump to the 205 live show, but because you're in that cool tag match, like you eventually do have a return match and all that on the indies in the last year or so. But like, how did that appearance relate? And I know they're jarringly different, like maybe not even comparable, but just talk us through that day and just how different that was compared to your first extra with them.
I mean, from that time, I did more extra work
Yeah.
up to that match, and one of my favorite people in the world, person in the world, his name is Steve Navajo Warrior. He's an awesome guy. I can't give you any more info on that other than that he's been instrumental in everything I've done in my career leading to the WWE, along with a guy named Ryan Katz. Shout out to those two. But Steve basically messaged me and he's like, "What you doing, kid?" And I was like, nothing." He's like, "How fast can you be in Arizona?" And I was like, tomorrow. What's going on? Are you okay?" And he says, "I might have a spot for you somewhere special." And the rest was history. I knew
Yeah.
exactly what he was talking about. Had to do some blood work and filing papers and this and that, and run around doing whatever I had to do to get that opportunity. And he told me, he goes, "Expect nothing, hope for the best."
Mhm.
Meaning, when you go there, do not expect to get used, but hope that you get used.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I've done extra work. I'll get used, whatever, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
leading to the end of the hours of the day where the doors open, I'm like, there's nothing going on. What's going on? And sure enough, they're like, hey, you there. And I'm like, me? And it's like, yeah, shorty, come here. It's Billy Kidman, it's Dean Malenko, and they call me and they're like, okay, we're gonna do matches.
Yeah.
And they gave us like a minute to call matches. They're like, you with you, you with you, you with you, you with you, and you with you. 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, 45 seconds. And we're like, okay. Call our match, and all of a sudden they're like, attention, everybody, switch partners. You two get in the ring. And I'm like, we just called the whole match. What the hell are we gonna do? And we get in the ring. Me and this guy named Evan Daniels got in there and we rocked the house. And we were pulled out immediately. And they were like, how long you been working, kid? Dean Malenko. And I'm like, well, a couple of years. And he's just like,
Yeah.
okay, well, do you speak Spanish? Yes. It's like, good, you're gonna be working with Lindsay Dorado and the Lucha guy. Have fun. And I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on? And
Yeah.
sure enough, before you know it, I was standing on the edge of the apron, and I'm like so nervous. I'm in a WWE ring. My dream is coming true again. I
Yeah.
am the luckiest man in the world. Thank you, Steve Navajo Warrior.
That is so awesome, man. And but something I found interesting about that appearance, I was talking to Daniel, but before we recorded it about it, it's one of the few times I've seen that a like independent worker didn't get to keep their name. They gave you a different name for it.
I forgot about that. So they gave me a name called Corazon Delgado or Delgado Corazon or Corazon something. It means like skinny cat or skinny heart, something like that. And
was there any thought on their end a little bit behind that? Like, was there a
no,
reason for it? Is
it
there
was
an
a
ending
rib.
here?
It was a rib or a jab or a joke at me.
Yeah.
I wasn't like the most fit guy, whatever, but I was skinny and I didn't have this beautiful tan that I have right there, right? I disappeared under the lights, but I just remember Dean Malenko going. He has this little stupid toothpick. What's your name, kid? While he's playing pocket pool. What's your name, kid? I'm like, Gino Rivera, and he's just like, yeah, hate it. That's not gonna go. How do you say skinny cat? And somebody gave him like Corazon Delgado, and he goes, that's it. That's your name, Corazon Delgado. He gives me one name.
Yeah.
They announce a different name. They flash a different name, and then the announcers call me a different name, and I'm like, is it Delgado Corazon or is it Corazon Delgado? I don't know what. I was just called like two different names.
Yeah.
While the other guy that didn't even try to get his name, he was like, "What's your name?" Evan Daniels. I love it. And I'm like, Evan Daniels? That is the worst name in history. How come he gets to keep his name?
That's two first names.
Sounds like somebody trying to be like a whiskey
guys, you
character.
can roll your tongue. Rivera. Evan Daniels. How boring is that? I love you, Evan. But how does he get to keep his name? How unfair.
Yeah.
But it was just the greatest thing.
That's awesome.
And I have one more question about the extra work, and then we'll get down to different things. But now, how does that compare to the AEW Dark appearance? How does that come to happen? You're working Cass, which is just Morrissey, which is so fun to see. I mean, it was just kind of like out of left field. I'm like, what's Gino doing here? So how that compared to the WWE experience, and just kind of talk us through that.
I'm going to choose my words very carefully here because I got eaten up by Conan on Twitter for bringing up something back then. But the AEW was fun. Okay. But nothing will ever compare to the experience you have when you're back there with the WWE.
Yeah.
I went with AEW I worked with them in 2020 of March, right before the pandemic happened. How ironic. And I thought I was going to have a match, and they chose to have a guy named Alexander Corrente, and they chose Abaddon at the time. And Abaddon had the place rocking, and this girl was wrestling for like 6 months. And I just remember her and that guy getting opportunities, and I was like, these two, I'm the wrestler, I'm the world traveler. It just made me really like angry because I was like, I'm the traveler, I'm the guy with experience with stars, and these guys are in school like trainees. But I understand what was going on. I can't really get into that, but I know that I wasn't happy about how that was, and I said something online, and I wasn't brought back until just recently. And I contacted them since 2020 of March up until just recently when that episode happened. And I heard a week or two before Wrestling Big Cass, we'd love to have you come on down. So I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. I get to wrestle in a match and showcase what I can do, whether it's selling, pumping, making somebody, or possibly showcasing my skills. WWE let me showcase my skills. AEW kind of said, what can you show us? And it was just very, very, very chaotic backstage, where it was just like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Our matches got switched around a few times, and it was great, you know, but I had ended up going from Lee Moriarty and Big Cass to being a tag team match, to my partner being away, to it being a handicap match, to Lee Moriarty being cut, to now it's just me and Big Cass. And man, Big Cass was just one of the greatest. He's such a nice guy, so humble, so underrated. What a great
comeback story, man. He's a success, and it's awesome that he's made such this life comeback.
His recovery, his road to recovery is awesome, and I pray for that man. And I'm so happy. I'm still a fan of his. And if not, I'm even more of a fan of his now. But Yeah, AEW was just a trip, man. Guys, I walked out there in El Paso. I am not from El Paso. I am
Mm.
from Honolulu, Hawaii. Okay, like I'm born and raised there. And sorry to spoil you guys, I'm not from Brooklyn. Okay, but I'm from Hawaii, and to be in Texas in El Paso, where I perform not regularly, when they saw me out there and they were behind me and they were chanting like Gino, 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 whatever, it was just
Yeah.
the greatest. And Cass was like, they're fucking cheering for this guy, for this little guy, you know. And yeah, he knew what time it was. He
Yeah.
knew, you know, he was wrestling somebody with some type of buzz. So
Yeah.
it was the greatest time ever. I love AEW,
Yeah.
but WWE's hard.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Going from you're like on TV, like to kind of talk about your individual success. Can you talk us through the first time that you ever won a title? If you look at the picture on the screen, you're holding, I think, 4 different titles. So clearly you're no stranger to championships. But what is that first time like?
Um, guys, I get a little angry talking about this because I'm passionate. Okay, I'm
Mhm.
not bitter. I'm not angry. I'm passionate. And when I see guys and girls come up in this industry and they win a belt their first 2 weeks in the show, first two
Yeah.
weeks in their business, it just makes me so angry because I know they didn't work for it. I know they don't know what that moment means until they
Mhm.
actually win it. And for me, it took me 9 years to win my first title. Um, I'll never forget. I was in line for a push. I was in line for a championship, and I was really excited about it. And I brought my family there. You know, I brought at the time like people that I really loved to this match because I was like,
Yeah.
this is my night. And a veteran that is still around to this day that everybody holds so high on the pedestal told me and told the promoter, he's not ready. And
Uh-huh.
I'll never forget that and forgive that because I felt I was ready. You know what I mean? Not just because my family was there, but I was like, it's my time. You know, the fans are behind me. I'm a little polished. I think I can handle this. And he told me, no, you're not ready. And I was just such a bitter and angry kid. I was like, that's terrible to do something. I will never do that to somebody.
Yeah.
And they did that. But it took me 9 years to win my first championship. And it just made my life. I was so happy, so happy. I made it. I got a little replica of it. Here it is.
That's awesome.
This
What
is the
promotion was that?
Arizona State Championship. This is the first title I've ever won. I defeated Manny Lemons, Peter Avalon, and some other guy in like it was a tournament, and this
Mm.
title was the belt that I won. And it means so much to me because I know I worked extremely hard. I didn't start my own promotion and put a belt on me. I didn't beat my best friend. I didn't kiss ass. I didn't do anything. I literally busted my ass and traveled and made a name for myself
Mm.
for someone to make me the first Arizona state champion ever, where I held this title for 315 days. That means I was
Mm.
the best for 315 days. No one could beat me. On
Yeah.
television, I was the man, and this belt means so much to me. And regardless of what you see there, you know, you'll see in that picture right there, I've got tons of titles. Those belts mean a lot to me, but this one right here was the one that really I couldn't stop looking at. I won it, and
Yeah.
I left it on my passenger seat, and I just kept driving, and I kept staring at it. I was just like, oh my
Yeah.
god, you know, like this is mine. I worked so hard. That night I was traveling and I slept in a bank parking lot, and it was so cold. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I kept my car on, and I had my title with me, and I was just so happy. I didn't care, and this is why this one means so much to me. So shout out to Mick Greenwood and David Marquez for seeing that I was the guy to. Sorry, I threw that, but I was the guy to hold that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm. Did you know, like, going into it? Obviously, yes, you did, but, like, how, like, soon did you know going into it that you were gonna win?
I got a phone call from David Marquez saying, "How would you feel representing us and becoming our first ever Arizona State champion?" And I was like, "You sure you want me?" And he's like, "Do you want the opportunity or not, kid?" And I was like, yes." And he's like, "Congratulations. See you at the show." And
That's awesome.
I was like, what did I do to deserve this opportunity? And if you guys know
Yeah.
David Marquez, this is a man who makes stars, doesn't want the credit, doesn't need the credit. He just knows he has an eye for talent. He puts them on their show, and every one of these guys all succeed. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
look at like guys like LA Knight. This is a guy that worked with Paul Bearer. This is a guy that worked with Peter Avalon, Danny Limelight. He can see stars. Jordan Clearwater from NWA. This is all people that David Marquez, has under his tree, and they're all stars. And I love David Marquez so much. I don't know if he loves me. We're both Puerto Rican, but I love him, and I'll always be thankful for every opportunity he's ever given me.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. And to go from winning that belt, now it seems like you're no stranger to it. What would you say is the most important? Like, if there's any wrestlers out there being a champion that people might not know about, or like stuff like you said, like little facts, little gems. Like once you get that title, like what are some things that people may not think about that you want to consider?
And how hard is it to time manage? Because it's a few different territories, or at least it feels like you're all over the place. Like that's a schedule.
You asked the question and he answered it. So literally the hardest thing about being a champion and winning championship belts is managing different feuds, managing a schedule, making sure you can defend them, because I've had literally 2 shows saying, hey, you're in the main event, you're defending your title, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm champion of both shows, I have to pick one, both depend on me. And that just happened recently, like 2 weeks ago, so having a belt is an honor. That means that somebody somewhere sometime believes that you're the best in the company. Whether you're a tag team wrestler, a women's champion, a singles champion, that means you're the best, and you have a duty, you have a task, you have to perform, you have to represent, you have to carry that championship and basically go out there and be the spokesman for that company. You can't embarrass them. You have to put them on a pedestal, and I gladly accepted that. As you see, guys, I won my first championship in 2017. Guys, what year is it this year?
I think it's 2023.
It's 2023. Guys, I haven't been without a championship since.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man.
I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at a time. I can't get them away from me. You know what I mean? I'm in line next week to crown the first Latin American champion. Then I go to El Paso in 3 weeks after that to crown the first United States Army-based champion. It's a company that basically we perform in front of the troops, and they put together a belt that they want somebody to represent. I'm performing for them. And I go to another town where I'm, wrestling for another championship. It's a wonderful opportunity. I wanted to be a champion so bad, and now that I'm getting freaking belts wrapped around my freaking skull. Okay. And it's a lot sometimes, because, it's just time managing who your opponent is, when you're going to drop a title, when you're going to pick one up. It's just, I'm everywhere. It's harder keeping it than it is winning it. I can tell you that.
Is there a different amount of preparation, whether it's in the promos or it's in putting the match together, when as a champion you're working both the local guys, the traveling star, and then the XTV guys? Like, how does that compare when it comes to putting that together?
We're all human. Doesn't matter where you're from, where you're at. Everyone in the independent wrestling starts here. The WWE, they start up here. We all do this. We all do this, right?
Yeah.
Something gets released from the WWE, AEW, Impact, New Japan. Where do they go? Down to the Indies.
Right.
Guess who's at the Indies? Hi, I'm at the Indies. Then you go up, you get signed. Hey, I'm in the WWE. You get released. Where do you go? Back to the Indies. Guys, we do all this all day. So you could say, let's say Shinsuke Nakamura tomorrow gets, released. God bless his soul, knock on wood. I hope he never does. But let's say he does. He's going back to the Indies. I'm on the Indies. He's going to be sitting in a locker room next to me. Guys, it makes no difference. We're all human. I fear nothing. I don't care how long you've been on television, how much money you made in the WWE. There's a time that Braun Strowman was on the Indies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some wrestlers can afford it. Some wrestlers can handle it. Some wrestlers can't, and they quit. A lot a lot of these collegiate athletes that are getting signed have never been on the indies. So when they get to the WWE and then they get released and they go, hey, you should go to the indies. Yeah, I'll try the indies. And they go, this shit ain't for me. I quit the business.
Yeah.
I believe those guys need to do the indies to understand the process. But like I've wrestled guys like Killer Cross, Darren Young, Chris Masters, Kalisto, you
Yeah.
name it, Shelly Martinez, Brian Kendrick. The list goes on and on and on. And all of these guys are humans. They just at one time were in a spotlight, and now they're not. The light is shining on somebody else.
Yeah.
But there's no preparation. Other than just you got to be on your game, you got to train. I train 4 days a week, Monday through Friday, 4 to 7 every single week. I wrestle Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm always in a ring, and I'm always a student of the game, watching wrestling, doing wrestling, talking wrestling, giving knowledge, receiving knowledge, going to the WWE, learning, taking what I learned, giving it back to my school, watching my kids do it, and applying it to everything. So wrestling is where you got to eat, breathe, sleep, shit wrestling. You can't just pick and choose when you want to do this. This is what you do. When people say that this is their life, I believe them because it is. It's my life. So no preparation. Just understand that people are human, and we go in there and we have a job to do, and it's to entertain fans.
Yeah. Is there like an opponent that you've had that you wish that you could like go back and tell yourself as a kid, like, hey, I just wrestled this guy?
No, there's not. There's just basically me standing in a ring, in a WWE ring, going, I can't believe I'm here. And me looking at a young me with figures, pictures and stuff like that, I wish I could say, hey, you keep believing because you're going to get there one day.
Yeah.
Versus my principals telling me I was going to be dead. And, my birth mom giving me up at 2 months old, like I wish I could tell those people that I had a dream and I accomplished it, So I'm a big believer in dreams and faith and all that. And I always tell people, keep believing, somebody somewhere believed in me. I believed in myself and I made it happen. Dreams do come true. You just got to keep working. And I know people are like, well, I've been working at it, but it's never come to me. Then you're not working hard enough. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I don't have a particular person that I'm like, oh my God, I wrestled Brian Kendrick. I told Brian Kendrick, I was like, dude, hey, I used to watch you when I was like in my teenage years. And he's like, you're making me feel old.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I haven't gotten into the ring with the Undertaker. I'll never get that opportunity to tell him that, but this summer, one of my idols, one of my favorite wrestlers in the world, Psychosis.
Oh, wow.
I'm getting in the ring with him, and I'll be
awesome.
I can tell him he was one of the guys that shaped and molded me myself. That's something I can answer your question maybe in another podcast and go,
absolutely.
I got to tell my idol or one of my guys, hey, you're one of the reasons why I'm in the business. So
that's awesome.
It's coming. You guys will know.
Yeah. And to talk about the wrestlers that everybody knows, who are some wrestlers that you think more people should know?
Doink the Clown, Shane Douglas, you know what I mean? Yokozuna.
Yeah.
These are people that shaped and molded me, you know what I mean? Like Randy Savage, Ted DiBiase. A lot of wrestlers are just like all about Okada, John Cena, The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H. And I'm like, there's a whole freaking universe of wrestlers like Misawa, you know what I mean? Chono. Does anybody understand what they've done for our business across the ocean? You know what I mean? So many guys, but one of my favorites is I love Matt Bourne, Doink the Clown. No one talks about him. Louis Spicolli, no one talks about him. Luna Vachon, no one really cares about her anymore. I don't know why, but these are people that when people they ask me, who's your favorite wrestlers? And I'm like, I don't have a favorite wrestler other than The Undertaker, but if I have to give you a list, I'm going to tell you Luna Vachon, Shane Douglas, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ted DiBiase. These guys, you can see it in my work. You can see it in my promos. You can see it when I talk. I'm so passionate about them. I love Doink the Clown. You know what I mean? I love Matt Bourne. So,
So when it comes to like guys you have worked with that not everyone would be aware of, just guys who should be on the general radar of wrestling fans, Are there a few of those guys that we should definitely check out?
Yeah, guys like Justin Taylor, I love. He's one of the first ones that pop in my mind. Justin Taylor is amazing. He's just such a natural. He's smooth. He's very humble. He just knows where to be in the ring, knows what to say, knows how to cut a promo, knows how to wrestle. He's in shape. He's just everything you would see in a wrestler, and that man should be signed. That man should be given an opportunity. He's gotten opportunities in AEW, but like he deserves the world, and I hope he gets it. You know what I mean? So he's one of the guys that I think is awesome. There's a guy like Slice Boogie, in LA. Eli Everfly. There's a list of guys. Matt Vandergriff. Oh gosh, I can go on and on about these guys. All people I think should be elevated, should be somewhere given a chance to showcase what they can do, because they're awesome. All of them.
Awesome. Well, I think I want to be respectful of your time. I know you just got done training, so I don't have any more questions. You have any more questions?
No, at some point I would love to have you back on to follow up on things, because I feel like we only did scratch the surface in this one, because I feel like you are a wealth of knowledge that to give you a platform to continuously do that. I mean, that sounds good on our end.
Yeah, and if you want to tell people where they can find you, talk about your wrestling school, your social media, you are probably one of the most dedicated social media wrestlers that I've seen.
Have to be.
Yeah.
All day, guys. This is my office all day. You know what I mean? Like this is how I get myself out there. I can do the whole computer thing. I can talk to people in network, but literally I am emails, DMs, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you name it. You guys can all find me on Gino Told You So, at Gino Told You So, on every single platform available. Doesn't matter what social media it is. Gino Told You So. I'm active on everything. I have to be, because like I tell my students, like I tell other wrestlers, one guy might have Twitter, but this girl only has Instagram, but this girl only gets on Facebook, but that guy only uses, I don't know, TikTok. You have to get them all. You have to cover them all. You know what I mean? You can't just have Instagram and be like, I'm going to show Vince McMahon I can do something. Vince McMahon has Twitter. He doesn't even run his own Twitter. You know what I mean? So you just got to be active on everything. YouTube, you name it. I'm active on that at Gino Told You So. Please DM me, contact me. I respond to all of my messages. Promoters, you can find me. I'm an easy flight, easy booking, flexible, and everything. So
awesome.
Check me out.
And your school is called Off the Ropes?
Absolutely. I have a school called Off the Ropes OTR in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I start students every first of the month, only for $120. Guys, you get the full training. It's doable, guys. There's people charging you $3,000 out there to literally put you in a headlock, break your leg, and take your money and make sure you never come back. I want to see you come back. I have made training affordable for the normal person that is working at a Walmart, that is working behind the desks. Wrestling is for everyone, of all genders, races, sexual preferences, political views, shapes, sizes, sexual preferences, whatever you like, it doesn't matter. Wrestling is for you, and I am here to open the door and let you in. I believe in having patience. I sell patience. I won't sell you a wet dream. I won't lie to you. I don't have a contract for the WWE. What I can show you is etiquette, how to talk to a promoter, how to wrestle. Anyone can show you a headlock, but they cannot show you how to get hired. And that's something I took from Disco. I am here to show you how to get hired. Contact me now at Gino Told You So, Off the Ropes, New Mexico, in Albuquerque.
Awesome.
That's awesome, man.
We'll have all that listed in the bio on our links and everything too. We appreciate your time. We hope you have a good night.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much. This has been wonderful.
Yeah.
If I leave you guys with a quick saying before you guys
have. Please do.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm still in this business is because I say, and I was told, don't quit. And I try to quit this business every year I've been in it. Okay. And it's been wonderful for me. It's brought me up to my highest of highs, my lowest of lows. But somebody told me this great saying: the day that you leave, somebody, somewhere, sometime will be looking for you. And what that means is when you leave, you never know when that opportunity could be calling you.
Yeah.
And when you leave, they go, hey, whatever happened to that Gino Rivera kid? Well, he quit yesterday. All right, well, how about you, Skip? Come on down. I got something for you. And thankfully, I didn't leave this business when I wanted to, because all these wonderful opportunities that has happened to me would have never been given to me if I left. And I'm so grateful that I'm still here and I'm continuing my career, my journey. So that's what I want to leave you guys with.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much for the opportunity, guys.